Somewhere there are photographs of you as a baby. You've seen them. That's you. The same name, the same eyes. But here is something strange you've probably never questioned. You cannot remember being that child. Not one full day of those first years, no matter how hard you try. An entire chapter of your life is simply missing. And the real reason why is far stranger than you think. Think about how much happened in that time. You learned to see, to sit, to crawl, to walk. You went from a creature who couldn't lift its own head into a small person who could run across a room and call things by their names. So why can't you remember a single moment of it? This blank space has a name. Scientists call it childhood amnesia. For most people, the first memory they can find arrives around the age of 3, and almost everything before it has vanished. Not blurred, not faded, gone. Where did it all go? The first person to take this seriously was Sigmund Freud, more than 100 years ago. He noticed his patients could rarely recall their earliest years, and he found that odd. For a long time, the story was that your earliest memories were locked away somewhere, repressed. But what if they were never really stored the way you imagine? Here is what makes this so confusing. A baby is obviously learning all the time. Your infant brain was soaking up faces, sounds, and words at a rate you'll never match again. So the machinery was working. Then why does almost none of it survive? To answer that, look at the part of your brain that builds memories. Deep inside sits a small curved structure called the hippocampus. Think of it as the part of you that stitches a scattered experience into a memory you can replay. In a newborn, it is still under heavy construction. The neuroscientist Paul Frankland studied this directly using young mice. The infant brain grows new neurons at a furious pace, far faster than the adult brain ever will. But it comes with a hidden cost. His research suggests this flood of new cells can disrupt the delicate circuits where a memory was just stored. Imagine writing in wet sand while the tide keeps rushing in to smooth it over. More new cells meant more forgetting. The very thing that makes a baby's brain so powerful at learning may also be what erases the record. You didn't lose those memories because they were too painful. You lost them because your brain was still rebuilding itself underneath them. But the hardware is only half the story. Remembering is not only about storing an event, it's about being able to call it your own. And for that, you need something a baby doesn't have yet. You need a sense of self. You need to say the word I. A real memory is not just a snapshot. It's a small story. This happened to me, and here is how it felt. That kind of memory depends on two things a baby is still missing. The first is language. The second is a stable sense of being one person moving through time. Before you had words, you had experiences, but no way to tell yourself their story. The psychologist Carol Peterson studied the earliest memories of children, not just adults. Young children can actually remember things from earlier than adults can. A small child might recall an event from when they were 2, but ask them again years later, and it's often gone. The forgetting is not finished when you're a baby. It keeps happening as you grow, and the few memories you think you've kept may not be real. When researchers examine people's first memories, many turn out to be reconstructions, quietly built later from family photos and stories told at the dinner table. You're not lying. Your brain simply built a scene and labeled it a memory. The years that shaped you most are the years you can no longer revisit. But here, the story turns gentle. Those experiences were not truly deleted. Patricia Bauer, who has spent her career studying how memory develops, has shown how the early brain lays down lasting patterns even when the events behind them disappear. This is called implicit memory. It is the memory of how, not the memory of what. You don't recall the thousands of times a hand caught you as you learned to walk, but your body still knows how to walk. So think again about that baby in the photograph. You can't remember being them, and now you know it isn't a flaw in you. It's the cost of a brain growing faster than it ever will again, a mind learning before it had words, a self that didn't yet exist to keep the story. That child did the most important work of your life and kept none of the credit. They built the foundation, then handed you the house, and quietly disappeared. Tonight, you'll remember almost nothing of being 1 year old. But everything you are still stands on what that forgotten child learned. They are not lost, they are underneath you. And in a way you'll never fully see, they are still teaching you how to be you.